Alright, what is good, y'all, and welcome to my experiment. Before me, I have a photo I took. I don't know if you guys can see this on the right hand side. July 6th, 2019, which is well over 6 years ago at this point. Yeah, this is how I edited the photo back then. This is the original raw photograph that came out of my camera. And this is, I guess, what my style was back then or something. I don't really know. I feel like I didn't really know what I was doing back then. I was just kind of messing around with stuff and figuring out what looked good, which is kind of what you got to do when you first start out taking photos. But yeah, at the very least, I remembered to remove this little. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, did I even remember to wait? Okay, I think I did. No, I did. Oh my god. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna make sure we do is remove this little lens speck or whatever. But yeah, let's just dive straight into it. I'm gonna be re-editing this photo and kind of giving myself and you guys an idea of how my editing style and how you guys can change over the years, how everyone can change over the years in terms of editing style and photographing style. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. One little trick I'm going to give you guys is if you want to remove these specks that are present in your photo, go down here to the dehaze and just crank this all the way, and it makes them like super visible. So you can see there's one over here, one over here. And yeah, so I'm just going to go through and remove all these real quick. Now that we have those removed, we can go ahead and start editing the photo. I already have an idea in mind of what or like how I want to edit this photo. I want to go for a kind of teal and orange look. I know it's the most prevalent editing style. I mean, I tried to escape it. I'm gonna be that guy that doesn't do teal and orange, you know? After all this time, I realized that there's a reason why 90% of films use it. It's just so natural. It gives such emotion to your photos. So yeah, we are not going to be straying away from that. So for teal and orange, first of all, I'm going to make this photo a little bit more cool. Not too much. Maybe around there. I'm going to up the exposure so we're a little bit brighter here. First thing I usually do is I come down here to the tone curves. And when I start editing, I usually find out where my shadows are, where my midtones are, and where my highlights are. I'm going to lower the shadows and raise the highlights just to give it a little bit more contrasty look. And my style, I realized as I developed over the years, is to raise the black level. Kind of gives it this filmic look where the blacks sort of fade to a more gray rather than just being straight black. Now we're going to move on to something that I for sure did not do back in the day, and that is these color curves. And if you are one of those people that doesn't use these, do not be intimidated. They're actually not that scary. So same thing I did with the normal tone curve. I place a point in my shadows, my midtones, and my highlights. And you got to think, what do you want to do to the shadows? I want to make them more teal, so I'm going to drag this down ever so slightly this way. You can kind of see what that's doing here. Midtones, sort of same thing, just a little bit down. And then I want to make my highlights more warm, right? So I raise them towards the red. Oh, way too much. Maybe around there is good. Hop over to the blue channel. Shadows, midtones, highlights. Shadows, want to make them a little more blue. Go ahead and raise that like that. Little thing. More yellow. And if you think about it, we're going for a teal and orange look, right? So we push red into the highlights. Now if we push yellow, what does red and yellow make? So if we click on and off for the tone curve, you can kind of already see what we've done here. We're back up here, back up to the basic adjustments. I'm going to go ahead and lower the highlights a little bit, raise the shadows ever so slightly, maybe a little bit more actually. I'm going to raise the whites, and I think I'm going to leave the blacks where they are. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on something. So nowadays, every single camera, I would say just about every single camera, is way too sharp. Like no photograph needs to be that sharp in my opinion, unless you're doing like professional work and you know that's what your client asked for. I understand that completely actually. But for the purpose of just like posting photos to Instagram and stuff like that, way too sharp. Like look at this edit, my before edit. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, it's just not it. for me personally. But for this photo, we are going to be lowering the clarity. So I'm gonna keep lowering this until I find a point that's about good. You don't want to go too far. Maybe like there is good. So before and after, sort of makes these highlights a little bit more bloomy, a little bit like dreamier, I guess. Makes the whole photo a little bit dreamier. Next thing, we're gonna go down here to the HSL. And first thing I see is this green. Like this green is the most distracting thing I've ever seen in a photo. Especially for a teal and orange look, you don't want all that green. So we're gonna go ahead and lower that. Maybe right there. You still want it to register as green. Next thing I see is all this blue. As I said before, we want it to be sort of like a teal. So I'm gonna come over here to the hue and sort of slide that over. The main colors I want to pop in this image are teal and orange, or blue and orange, all those cool and warm tones. So I want red. So I'm gonna raise red a little bit. Orange just a little bit, and I don't want it to be like a super saturated image, so I'm not raising these too high. Yellow I actually think is quite distracting in this image, so I'm gonna go ahead and lower that maybe about there. Aqua, as you can see, it doesn't do too much, but I mean I'll just lower it a teeny bit. Blue, leave it where it is. These purples and magentas, I don't really want them, so I'm gonna lower them quite a bit. And I actually think I will raise orange a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, because we really want orange and these warm colors to pop. So let's raise red and orange. Okay, that looks good. Let me show you guys before, after, before, after, before, after. It's already looking good. Moving on to color grading. This is where you're able to, I think, get the most emotion out of your photos, in my opinion. You know, everything plays a part, but I think split toning and color grading is the most important for mood and stuff like that. So as I said before, we want teal and orange. Most of this image is teal. I'm gonna go over here to the global actually and pick a pretty extreme point, maybe like here. Lower the saturation down. When you make a global adjustment, you don't want to go hard at all. Okay, let's go to the shadows, do the same thing, maybe a little bit darker than the global adjustment. Okay, that maybe looks about good. Come over to the highlights, you know we want them to be orange, and we really want to pump these actually, so maybe around there. I just realized we are maybe a little bit tilted, so I'm gonna come up here to the crop and just rotate this. That looks good. Let's see. Yeah, that looks about right. I don't know, maybe a little bit more. Let me know in the comments if that is not level. We're gonna move on to masks, and this next part I'm gonna show you guys is actually what I consider to be the secret sauce of photos like this. So I'm gonna put you guys on once again. Go ahead and bring out your brush tool, make it a decent size, and brush over all the bright parts, or all the like strikingly bright parts of this image. It's gonna feel like it's super tedious, but trust me, it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna show you guys. After you've brushed over all those bright parts, you're gonna come over here to the mask. You're gonna scroll down to clarity. You're gonna bring down the clarity quite a bit, and you're gonna bring down the dehaze. As I show you guys the before and after, before, after, before, after, you can see how much of a difference that makes in making your photo feel dreamy. I've heard you're actually able to do this with the luminance range tool, but haven't been able to get it to work to this extent. But I mean, if you guys have a way of doing that, please let me know in the comments. Please educate me. All right, the next mask we're gonna make is a radial gradient, and we're just gonna sort of use this as a vignette. Let's invert it. You can see what area it's affecting. And the reason I'm using this instead of the vignette tool is because I don't want it to really affect this top part of this image where we have this sky. So I'm just gonna use this radial gradient. I'm gonna bring this down. The finishing touches, the final thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come down here to the grain, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but my editing style these days is kind of reminiscent of film stock. So I'm gonna add grain to sort of give it that film feel. Okay, that looks about good. I mean, the sweet spot I usually go for, I'm gonna put you guys on once again, you know, I'm gonna start charging for this information. Like, honestly, I'm putting you guys on so much. For the grain, the numbers that I usually go for amount, size, and roughness is about 30, 40, 50. I mean, it's not that big of information, but you know, next time, bring some cash, I might charge. All right, and I think this photo is done. Here's a little before, after. Before, after. What do you guys think? Better, worse? Okay, well, I'm gonna switch now between the edit from 2019 and the edit from now. 2019, now. 2019, now. What you guys think? I mean, did we do it, or did we make the photo worse? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I mean, there is no right answer, you know. If you edit like this now, and you know, this is your style, there's literally nothing anyone can say. Like, this is what you make, and this is what I made back in the day, but this is just how I've changed to edit my stuff now, and there's no better or worse. I want to make that clear. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to make it because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they don't really mess around with photography, and I wanted to come in here and kind of have a little bit of fun, because nowadays everyone's just so stuck up about their photography, and I don't know, it's kind of sucks the fun out of it. Let me know what you feel about this in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.